Okay, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest. I'm Seth from the Loner Solo Podcast. In this episode, we're going to be talking about Rusev's return to WWE. Now, Rusev is a wrestler that's been in WWE previously. I remember him coming onto the scene around 2013, 2014, really making a name for himself. He had a really long unbeaten streak, and he won the United States Championship as well, and held that for quite some time. But since then, Rusev sort of fell out of favour, had some injuries, would come back, had the whole Rusev Day gimmick with Aiden English. That got him pretty over as well. That's probably Rusev's height of his popularity. And then around 2019 time, 2020, they released him in due to budget cuts. AEW snapped him up pretty quickly. AEW's immediate sort of character for him was this weird video game nerd, which was probably too close to the real Rusev. Right? Probably, in real life, isn't this Russian destroyer. In real life, he's probably like a video game nerd. So this was one of those cases where just being yourself isn't actually good enough to be a good character, right? He done that for a bit. Then I think he had an injury, was gone for a bit, came back as the Redeemer, which was when he done, in my opinion, the best work of his entire career. Got himself in great shape and was a really dominant wrestler in AEW. Won the TNT Championship and had a really good run with that. But I think creative differences, maybe some injuries. He's not a young man at this point anymore. He's been at the top level for, give or take, 10, 11 years at this point, right? But, Rusev's a very talented wrestler, and I understand that him coming back to WWE makes probably a ton of sense for him, obviously. They're only the real other big show in town. Obviously, when you're a wrestler as talented as Rusev as well, and you become a free agent, of course, guys are going to want to snap you up. So I get that, but from a WWE's point of view, I'm thinking, why would you spend what I imagine is going to be a decent amount of money on Rusev when you've got so many other guys already similar to Rusev that can do what he does and are younger? I'm assuming are younger. They may not be younger. But you already got them. You didn't need to sign someone else to have these guys. You've already got these guys. I'm talking the likes of, Jacob Fatu, Bronson Reed, Braun Strowman, Karrion Kross to an extent. All these guys. Right? So yeah, I was confused as why WWE would sign Rusev. Because like I said, you've got guys similar to Rusev already that you already employ. Right? So it'll be interesting to see what's next for Rusev, because he came in, he beat up Alpha Academy. I wonder if he'll be feuding with them first. Obviously, that would make sense since he just attacked them. But we'll see, because Rusev is a very interesting character. I mean, not a real interesting character, but he's got some depth there. We saw that with the Redeemer. But that was when he was given a bit more time on screen and time to cut these promos and get his point across in a way where he wasn't really given that chance in WWE at any point, to be honest. So we'll see. I'm hoping we'll see more Redeemer and less Rusev Day in this WWE run for Rusev. But yeah, not an amazing signing for WWE, because like I said, they've got multiple guys like this before, and you didn't need to hire someone externally to fulfill the role that Rusev's going to fulfill for WWE. That being said, for Rusev, get to the bag, bro. Obviously, going from AEW to then being released and not getting paid is obviously quite a big deal, right? You've got rent or a mortgage or whatever, you need to get paid. So I appreciate that completely. But yeah, interesting move from WWE for Rusev, and we'll see what Rusev's got in his bag. All right, guys, another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest, and I am out. Peace.